Hi everyone, Kelt here, bringing you my thoughts on the British royal family, and today I'll be talking about Andrew again, but a little more in depth and some really quite interesting stuff. So, back in 1999, Prince Andrew decided to invite Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell up to Balmoral, the Queen's private castle in Scotland. There's a photograph floating around now, taken right there on the stone porch. Epstein in his polo, Maxwell next to him, Andrew somewhere in frame. Looks like a normal country break. Or does it? Except by then, Epstein already had that quiet cloud over him. Florida police were watching. Parents of girls were talking, though nothing public had broken yet. And Andrew, he just brought them home. The next year, 2000, they're back. Epstein shows up at Windsor Castle itself, and around the same time, Maxwell turns another birthday older, so Andrew throws her this little party at Sandringham, the King's Place in Norfolk. He told the BBC in that Newsnight interview it was a straightforward shooting weekend, his exact words. But honestly, given how the royals have always handled hunts, not just foxes or pheasants, sometimes things far less innocent, was it really just about guns and birds? I mean, look at the guests. Epstein liked to collect things. Maxwell liked to supply them. And Andrew kept the invitations coming. So it does make you think. 2 years on, 2002, Maxwell had this weird idea, apparently, of wanting to see the palace up close. So Andrew arranges a private tour of Buckingham Palace. She wanders in, sits right on the throne, her arms slung over the back, Kevin Spacey grinning beside her. The picture only came out years later, but still, what kind of security lets that happen? Maybe the same type of security that let Jimmy Savile wander through all the palaces unchecked, and even advise the royals, the Queen included. Yes? And who thought it was fine? Then we get to 2006, the year everything really tips over. The Americans have already issued a warrant for Epstein back in March. He's wanted for assaulting a 14-year-old girl. And yet, 2 whole months later, Andrew invites him and Maxwell, and even Harvey Weinstein, to Royal Lodge, his own house on the Windsor estate. Not the castle, the house, the one he lives in almost rent-free, thanks to some quiet agreement with the Crown Estate. BBC managed to pin them there. The same trees, the same patio wall as in the old pictures. They arrived early before the main party, Beatrice's masked ball, her 18th at Windsor Castle, which involved champagne, banquet and orchestra. 2 months later, Andrew still rolls out the red carpet. Royal Lodge was the first stop. Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, even Harvey Weinstein pile in for drinks on the terrace. The BBC matched the photo to the wall and the trees. You just can't argue with it. And it's great that the BBC are finally putting these things out there. Then they move on to the masked ball at Windsor Castle for Beatrice's 18th. Champagne towers, banquet, masked girls everywhere. 8 days later, Epstein is arrested in Florida. And Andrew's comment, "I had no idea the warrant existed. He didn't tell me." He paid for Virginia Giuffre in the end, though. He says he doesn't remember her face, doesn't recall the nights she swears he spent with her, and a room full of teenagers. Titles are gone now, stripped last month, and Royal Lodge, still his Crown Estate, charges him a token rent. He's not there for long though. William is really pushing to get him out. I think there's a deadline now. So the palace floated Adelaide Cottage or Frogmore, smaller places for him and Sarah. I think they're having separate places now, it seems. A little more fitting, so they say. Then Epstein hangs himself waiting for trial, allegedly. Ghislaine Maxwell gets 20 years for luring girls for him. Weinstein's locked up in New York and LA, fighting to retry. But back to that Sandringham weekend. Andrew called it ordinary. Yet Maxwell's whole life was about sourcing. Epstein's life was about spending. And the royals, they've hunted everything, from stags to scandal, for centuries. Was it possible, just possible, that the prey that time wasn't feathered? Was 20 years for rounding up girls and handing them over? Weinstein's locked up too in New York and LA, but he's managed to get a retrial, so who knows? All of them were in that garden together at Royal Lodge. Just a family gathering, Andrew might say, or maybe not. When he calls Sandringham just a shooting weekend, part of me wonders what he really meant. Why even say it? The royals don't do anything without layers. Everything's protocol, everything's loaded. And if Maxwell was already selecting, as the courts put it, then prey suddenly sounds different, doesn't it? Not deer running through the heather, not birds flushed from the undergrowth. Something different. I don't know what happened out there, but I do know Andrew kept inviting them back, long after he'd heard the rumours, long after he'd seen the company they kept. Maybe he really didn't know. Was he really that stupid? Maybe he turned a blind eye. Maybe he liked the thrill. Maybe he thought he was untouchable as a prince and he just enjoyed knowing them. Whatever the truth is, it is coming out. Anyway, let me know what you think. Was it just a weekend with the lads, or was Andrew hunting something totally different? And if you want to watch an even deeper dive into this, you can go to my Vault members videos. I have one there, which takes this even further. So, thanks for watching. Like if you liked it, ding the bell for alerts for more videos and share. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.